You can feel it, right? You hit 50, something's different. For me, it was back around 49 years old. Something happened and I could feel something was definitely shifting in my body. You realize I'm not 30 anymore. My energy started dipping. My recovery was much slower. Maybe the weight was starting to creep up. And even though some of my workout was not changing much, some things just started to not work as great as they used to. This is the truth that most guys don't want to hear. Around your 50s, something starts declining and you feel like you're actively trying to keep up. You're treading water just to keep your head above the surface. Just a couple days ago, I had a health scare. I was laying in bed, I was alone, and it was 3 a.m. and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was happening in my body. And I won't go into the details. Look at my previous video on what the specifics were about it. But it scared me. I was alone. I'm in a country that haven't made these contacts yet or reference points yet, which is probably foolish on my part. But I wanted to check into what are the top 7 health issues that men face over 50, and to see, just so I'm aware of what they are, and so that I can better prepare for them and hopefully prevent them. So these are the top 7 health issues that men over 50 face, and more importantly, what you can do about preventing them. So the first one is the big one. It's heart disease. It is the number 1 death of men around globally. 1 in 4 men suffer or die from health-related issues. And the risk spikes after 50. And why does this happen? This is years. This is a compounding effect. Like compounding with money, this is a compounding effect. Not taking care of your body, not keeping health as a priority. And face it, it's a big thing going into retirement. People are going into retirement unhealthy because they didn't have the time, or they just didn't take the time to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Low activity, working too much, high blood pressure building up quietly in the background. You don't know what's happening. The interesting thing about most of these problems are the solutions are very simple and similar. They say walking 30 minutes a day daily, minimum. 30 minutes a day. Tell me you can't do that. Get your blood pressure checked regularly. Shift to simple foods. Eat what I call 1 ingredient food. It's fresh vegetables. You shop when you go to a grocery store. You shop on the outside aisles. Don't go to the middle aisles. Shop where the food is fresh and it's something that can rot in days if not kept in the refrigeration. That's when it's the fresher the better. Get away from the processed foods in the bags, the foods in the cans. Drop the visceral fat as much as you can. Fatty livers are a killer. No, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistently, you eating that 90 to 95% of the time healthy. You can have that 5% of the time you can have the treat. But you just can't eat the treats as much as you used to when you were young. The second one, low testosterone. I can identify with this one. When I look back on my youth compared to what I'm now, I can't believe it. I never would have thought I would have gotten to this point. I did have my testosterone checked a couple years ago, and it was normal. It's definitely something that's changed for me. Testosterone is scientifically shown to drop 1% every year after the age of 30. By 50, men are running on half the levels that they had when they were in their 20s. I can testify that. I had a very strong drive for probably a good 20-25 years. And it's hard to believe, and something changed. And this comes with low energy levels, losing motivation. Although I'm pretty self-motivated, I don't have a problem there. But reduced sex drive, not much interest there anymore. These are some of the things that low testosterone can affect you. So what are the solution? Lift weights minimum 3 times a week, at least 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, minimum. This can be resistance bands, but it should be resistance. Some light weights, body weights, just something to try to maintain muscle density. Minimum sleep, 7 hours a day. When I was younger, I lived off of 3 to 4 hours a day sleep. I don't know how it was possible. Even 10 years ago, I could live off of 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Now I'm sleeping more than 7-8 hours a day since I've stopped working. I can't believe it. But this is when testosterone is actually made in your body. So get the sleep, get a good quality sleep. Maintain healthy body fat levels. Reduce the body fat, and consider getting tested just to see where you stand. Have a baseline. This is the one thing people don't know and they don't want to do, It's a simple test, it's relatively inexpensive, and it's just worth knowing where you are in the averages. Supplements help a little bit, but really a lifestyle change that you really need to focus on if you're not living a healthy lifestyle now. The third biggest problem is weight gain, metabolic slowdown. After 50, your metabolism starts slowing down and you start losing bone and muscle density. Men lose 3 to 5% of muscle mass every year after the age of 30, unless you continue to work out. This means easier fat gain if you're not lifting weights, harder fat loss once you are overweight, and higher risk of diabetes. You don't want that, and that's reversible. So the solutions are strength training, non-negotiable. You're seeing a pattern here. Protein intake. Increase your protein to 1 to 1.5 grams per body pound, and cut the liquid calories. Cut the alcohol. Reduce them extreme. Cut the sodas. I cannot believe how much soda people drink here. I'll watch a couple sit down for lunch and they will drink a liter of soda for lunch, just for lunch. When I go back to the States, I couldn't believe how much sugar and soda my family drinks. I was really shocked. Number 4 is a consequence of number 3, is type 2 diabetes. This is exploding globally. Over 400 million people are diagnosed globally with diabetes 2. And the risk actually comes when you're over 45, because this is an accumulation. This is a lifestyle disease. This is something that happens when you're younger. And I remember eating a lot of sugar throughout the years. I didn't really understand, or I didn't know the amount of sugar that I drank when I was younger. It's a snowball effect. And the earlier you stop it, the better you are. And I didn't realize this probably until my 40s, and it was my mid-40s that I stopped drinking sugar drinks. I don't touch it at all. I drink carbonated water. And a lot of people don't even know they have type 2 diabetes. The warning signs are like belly fat increasing, fatigue after meals, and cravings. And the solutions to prevent this are walk after meals. Scientifically proven how much it can reduce your blood sugar after you have a meal, depending on what you eat. Just go for a 20-30 minute walk. Don't sit down and veg at the front of the TV. Reduce your refined sugars. Again, the sugary drinks. Intermittent fasting, if you can do it. I think you need to be on a good, solid diet, eating the right foods for intermittent fasting to really work. But it would help you nonetheless. And then regularly checking your blood glucose levels. They sell monitors. I have a monitor. I was checking regularly for a long time when I was on hardcore carnivore diet. I've been borderline for many years, and I got it down when I was eating carnivore. It's the only diet that I really know that affects it. Carnivore, keto, low carb diets. So the solutions again are walking after meals, reduce the sugar, reduce the carbohydrates, intermittent fasting. This is one of the most reversible diseases if you catch it early enough. Number 5 is mental health and isolation. This one gets ignored, but it's very real for men as you get older. I know this happened for my dad. He isolated himself. He basically had no friends after 50. He didn't socialize at all. Even with his family, he would go sit away from everybody. Men over 50 have a higher suicide rate than any other age group globally. This is related to retirement. You lose your sense of self-identity. You have less social connection. This could be a result of the empty nest syndrome. Your kids are out, so you're not socializing as much as you were when your kids were involved and active in clubs, and you start to lose purpose, especially if you retire and you're not retiring into something. The solutions are stay socially active, join some type of group, go to places where there are people around you, even if you don't socialize. Build the routines to be around people. Go to the gym, go to church. I am not a very extrovert person, but I put myself in positions where I'm around people, even if I don't talk a lot. And create your own social activities, work on projects, give yourself some sense of purpose, travel. For those who are in retirement, you don't retire from life, you just redesign your life. You redefine it. Number 6 is surprisingly comes after number 5. It's prostrate issues. About 50% of the men over 50 have some type of prostrate issue. And the symptoms are frequent urination, waking up frequently at night to have to go to the toilet. Your urine stream is weak. The solutions are to get checkups, reduce the evening fluids, reduce the alcohol, Alcohol can make you go to the toilet more frequently. Stay active, exercise, maintain a healthy weight. Don't ignore this. Again, it's something that can be manageable if it's caught early. I stopped drinking fluids after 7, except for maybe a sip of water if I feel very dehydrated. But I stopped drinking fluids after 7, and usually I'm pretty good for the rest of the evening. Number 7 is joint pain and mobility loss, and I can identify with this one. The older I get, the harder it is to move those hips, and things start to ache. Your knees knock, your hips, your back. But I've noticed since I've stopped working and I'm exercising more and I'm not sitting at a desk more, my back, lumbar feels much better than it did last year. It's amazingly better. My knees are better, but I'm exercising more and I'm just not sitting at a desk. Osteoarthritis affects millions of men over 50. This comes from wear and tear, mistreating your body. I did that. Most of my problems, I think, are related to sitting for too long a period of time and the damage I did in sports and weightlifting when I was younger. This comes from muscle loss, becoming a couch potato. So the solutions are weight training. Again, same thing, a couple times a week. Moving, keep fidgeting, keep getting up and down. Don't grow roots on the couch. Maintain a healthy weight. Stay active. Motion is lotion for your joints. Keep moving. So here's the bottom line for probably most of you. None of this is surprising. What's surprising is how easy it is to do this, but people just don't do it. They accept what they have and they just let it go. Don't do that. Make a change in your life. And if you can't motivate yourself, try to get help. Most of these issues come down to just a few things. Keep moving your body. Motion is lotion for your joints. Build the muscle, eat single ingredient foods, sleep well, and stay connected. And if you're in retirement, you should be able to do all these relatively simply. So that's it. There's no magic pills. There's no complicated routines. Just doing the basics will put you ahead of 90% of the population. You don't have to go out being Arnold Schwarzenegger or a marathon runner. It just takes some movements, takes some discipline, and it takes build that into your routine of your day. So you can't stop aging, but you can absolutely control how you age. Look for health longevity, not just age longevity. 5, 6, 7 years ago, I hired a coach to help me build a routine, especially around phony Roni epidemic. He told me, I'd rather drop dead than live a long, slow, painful death. Tell me down in the comments where this quote is from. It's better to burn out than to fade away. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Whoever can name that group and name that song, I will pin your comment down below. I'm not saying we're not going to get sick with things that we can't control, but why don't you try to control the things you can? I mean, these are the top 7 health risks for men. You are able to manage that. Have some agency, take control. So tell me in the comments, are you fighting back against the natural decline of your body aging? So if you're over 50, drop a comment what you're doing about living longer, if you care, if you don't care, and if you don't care, why? And if you do care, why? What's been the hardest change for you? Let me know in the comments. I do this because I care about people, something in my life. I want to be able to look back and say, I did everything I could, no matter what happens. I did what I could. I did the best of my ability, and I lived the life to the fullest that I could. And if you've got loved ones, just make it more important. Take care of yourselves, everybody. God bless, and take it slow.